What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So this will be the third video in this boat restoration series. If this is the first video you're catching, I'm currently in the process of restoring a I believe it's a 1992 Bass Tracker Pro 17. And as you can see, I've gutted the whole interior. I'm going to replace the floor, and instead of doing carpet, I'm going to do the whole thing in a vinyl. So it's a marine grade vinyl. And if you guys haven't caught the first two videos, go check those out. And then in this video, I'm going to show you a little bit of the surface preparation and what I've found has worked the best. So I've already surface prepped everything back there. I'm probably going to do a little bit more on this front wall, just to make sure the glue sticks good. So you can see these two panels right here. This is one that I've got complete. And this is what it looks like after you remove the carpet. So you can still see there's a bunch of little pieces of carpet on there and a bunch of old dried up glue. And so the best way that I have found to do this is with 60 grit sandpaper. I think I started with 200, and I went down to 120, and 60, right around 50, 60 is what works the best. And it really does a pretty dang good job. And then getting in the corners, I'm using this sander here with a little corner on it, so I can get tight up into these corners, because that's going to be important to get your glue to stick real good in the corners. And then especially like down inside your hatches. So the other tools I've used, so on this boat, the hinges were actually spot welded to the lids and then riveted to the actual boat frame. And so I use this step drill to drill out all the spot welds. You can see that they were on this side of the hinge. So the hole is slightly bigger than the rivet hole. And then the hinges had carpet that wrapped around them and glue on the hinges. And so to clean those all up, I used the wire wheel on my angle grinder. Works really slick. And actually, I think you could get away with using an angle grinder and like the 90-degree wire brush to do the entire thing. I just didn't want to have a big dusty mess. I've got a bunch of stuff in the garage here, so I didn't want dust to go everywhere, and this unit here does a really good job at collecting all the dust. So that's the one reason I preferred that, but I think with a wire wheel you could do it even quicker. So far on the rear of the boat, I probably spent, an hour and a half working on that. Some of that was drilling out all the spot welds and kind of figuring out what I was going to do on the hatches and all that. But it's definitely not a one-day process to redo it all the correct way. And then I've also been figuring out kind of what I want to do for my console, because I think I'm going to redo that and the rest of the boat. And I'm also waiting on my glue, so I really haven't been pushing it. The glue is on back order for the vinyl, so that won't come in until next week. And so I've got everything pretty much ready. I've got all my new plywood, and I did end up going with a treated plywood. It is an AC2 plywood, which they say is safe for aluminum. And I did a bunch of research on the website, the company website, and they said you can have direct contact with aluminum and no adverse effects. So that's going to save me a step from putting either oil-based lacquer on there or doing some sort of water sealant. But as you can see, the old floor that's over there was all rotted out. But I am going to use that as a template for when I have to cut the new floor out, because it's not square, so that the sides are angled, and then also the drain hole, I'll use that as the template. So should work out pretty good. And then I'll do the same thing with the front deck. But my plan is to get the whole back done. So I've got to do the two side panels and do the back deck, and then put the floor in, because the vinyl will actually wrap under in the back and the floor will sit on top of it. And then the side panels, it'll wrap under and the floor will sit on top of it. And that'll help keep it on the side panels instead of trying to curl around and have just glue holding it. And that's actually how they had the carpet done. You can see the carpet was about under the floor, probably 2.5, 3 inches. So that's my plan there. I think it should work out pretty good. So basically, once I get the glue, I'm gonna start back there, do that whole deck, and it's all one piece and wraps down on that front wall. And then obviously you do all the hatches separate. So do the whole back deck, wrap it down, and then I'll do the side panels, which are laying over there outside of the boat. I'll just do it on sawhorses or whatever, and then install those back in, and then the last piece to go in will be the floor. And then I'm also going to do that new tackle locker like I talked about, and then put the rod holder back in. And the rod holder's still covered in carpet, but I'm going to redo that with vinyl on the outside, and then I'm going to put the carpet on the inside to protect the rods a little bit. So, but I'll show you guys quick. It really doesn't take too long. It's probably 5 minutes maybe to do this. So I'll set up a time lapse and I'll kind of show you. This is the worst part. All around where they had the poles is super thick, and a lot of the carpet stayed on there and it's hard to get off. So that really takes the longest to clean up. But I'll show you guys quick, and then we'll move on to another panel. So here's that finished panel. You can see it's real clean. There's still a few dark spots on there, but I don't think the glue will have any issue sticking to that. And then obviously you still have to do the edges, which I also do with the orbital sander, and then the insides, which I do with that corner, just a vibrating sander. But it really doesn't take super long. I think you could knock out the actual removing of the glue on the whole boat in probably 4 hours if you just stayed at it and just knocked it all out. But I'll show you kind of the carpet. So this panel still has some carpet on it, and it was actually really super easy to come off. It's been on there for 30 years, so the glue is pretty much all dried up and all weathered. And a lot of my carpet was full of sand, so that was a lot of fun. But comes off real easy. I've been just grabbing it with pliers and pulling it off, and then go through and sand it all down. So one other thing, I got all new hatch handle locks. So I'll be able to lock my rod compartment and my bait compartment. And then they're just pull latch, the anchor style on the rear. I just picked these up off of Amazon. They're the White Cap brand. They were a little bit more than I wanted to spend, but they're super nice. I think they were like $29 or $30 a piece. So I'm gonna have to cut these holes out bigger, which shouldn't be too hard. So I'll have a hatch. I'll have 3 back here, 2 in the live well, 1 on the engine auxiliary compartment, and then 3 up front, because I'm going to add a hatch on the front deck. So I'll have that, and then the tackle storage and the rod locker. So I think it's going to look pretty sick when it's done. Be pretty much a brand new boat. Like I said, I'm considering redoing the console, painting it up. There's a couple cracks in it. Probably trying to fix those up, and we'll see what happens. But I still got quite a bit of carpet to still clean up. I've got the 2 big side panels over there, and then the seat bottoms, rod locker, and I still have to build the tackle storage. But I got all new foam, and that is 1.5 inch closed cell foam. And then you can see the 2 side panels are down there. So the next step will be getting all the foam cut and put in here, because there was foam in between all these supports and then foam along the sides, which I don't want to leave out because I think it'll help tremendously with deadening some of the noise, especially, you know, when you're hitting little waves and or even big ones. The boat's already loud enough, so the more noise deadening I can get back in there, I think the better off it'll be. And it's not very heavy, so you're not adding a ton of weight to it. So, but I think that's going to do it for this video, guys. So I'm going to get the rest of all these panels cleaned up, and then the next step will be we'll start laying some vinyl. So next video we'll go through, I'll get all the foam in here, and then it'll be time to start putting the flooring in, which is going to be very exciting back here in the back, because there is a ton of seams. So they've got all these separate panels all riveted together, and the carpet was all just one piece. So basically it's going to look like an H on the back deck, and then it's also going to wrap around this front wall here. So should look pretty damn good when I get it done. So stay tuned, guys. If you're redoing a boat, I'll show you everything that I've done and what's worked well and what hasn't worked. Like I said, 60 grit sandpaper so far has been the key. Otherwise, if you don't care about dust, I think just using a wire wheel or a wire brush will take it off pretty decent. So, but thanks for stopping by, guys. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next boat video.